Hi, my name is Sydney. I am 24. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Um, I have never made a YouTube video before, but I felt like I have a story that could help others, maybe help younger girls get the diagnosis they deserve, get the treatment they deserve. You know, the amount of times that I had somebody tell me that all the pain was nothing, it just makes you feel like just so small. It just wasn't fair. So I'm gonna try not to cry during this video. I'm gonna try to make it all the way through. Not a lot of edits or anything like that, but I'm gonna start from the beginning, and kind of go from there. So again, I'm 24. I live by myself in a suburb of Atlanta, and I have stage 4 endometriosis. So of course, if you don't know what endometriosis is, it's where the endometrium tissue that's inside of your uterus, similar tissue is found outside of your uterus and inside of your abdominal cavity, and it can even grow inside of your chest. It can grow anywhere, and it acts just like what it does when it's inside your uterus. It also thickens and sheds. Very painful. It's not fun. The only way you can actually diagnose it is from surgery. Other than that, you just kind of base off of clinical signs, irregular periods, heavy periods, painful sex. All of these symptoms were what I was having. And I remember when I was 13, 14, I started my period super late, like compared to like most kids. So I think I started my period around 14, which I feel like was late. But they were excruciating. Like literally could not even sit up, hurt so bad. And I was like, Mom, like something like this hurts like so bad. Like I don't understand like why no one else at school is like complaining about this pain and I'm the only one that's complaining. Like what? Like why is this only happening to me? Right? Of course, she was just like, my periods were crampy too, or whatever the excuses. And of course she didn't know, right? So she never had any problems getting pregnant. She didn't have any of this like severity as I did. Okay, so I'm not throwing my mom under the bus. But I would go to school. I would like be like throwing up, like barely able to stand from the pain of having a menstrual cycle. And I remember like one time my dad picked me up. I was in high school. I think I was like a freshman in high school. I wasn't driving yet. My dad picked me up. I remember him telling me, again, not throwing my dad under the bus. He had like no idea. He was like, most women just have to deal with this and work through it. Like you can't keep missing school from this. Like soon you'll be working. Like you can't like call out of work and school for this. Like you're gonna have to suck it up. And I remember thinking like, I can't suck it up. It hurts so bad. And I like to think I have a high pain tolerance. Maybe I don't, but the pain was excruciating. I remember, I think it had to be around, I was in 8th grade, maybe. They put me on oral birth control, like the pill. I was bleeding so regularly. I was bleeding for 21 days, like 3 weeks, super heavy. Like I would wake up in like, this is so TMI, it's so disgusting, but like this is super raw. Like wake up in like pools of blood. And my mom took me to the gynecologist, and I'm like, listen, I'm having all these things. And he was like, it's probably just like a hormone imbalance. Like, here, you need to go on the pill. I'm like, okay, fine, go on the pill. Didn't even touch it. Was still bleeding irregularly, still had all this horrific pain. And was still bleeding. Like, still had a period, right? And I did pill after pill, like different brands, different strengths, all what you could possibly think of with this one gynecologist here. So then I get an IUD, to see if that helps it. And at this point, I'm a junior in college, or junior in high school, excuse me. No, I think I had to be older than that. I can't remember. I had to be, I was in college. I think I was a sophomore in college. I went home and I went to school in Mississippi. I'm from Georgia. I came home. I was still on oral birth control, and it's coming back to me now. And they were like, okay, so like, let's try an IUD. Let's try it. At this point, I was like, for anything. It hurt like a son of a biscuit. It sucked. It was a 3-year Skyla. I don't think it's called Skyla anymore, but that's what it was. It was like the 3-year tiny one. So that's what I got. Okay, so my senior year rolls around. Okay, also still bleeding profusely through the Skyla. Horrific pain. Nothing stopped. Nothing touched it. Like, I was still having periods. Literally nothing touched it. Okay, so comes my senior year of college. So this is I graduated in 2018. And so around March, April-ish, I was doing an internship with my, that was part of my requirements to graduate. I was doing an internship in Tallahassee, Florida. And I was working at a animal hospital down there that I loved. Shout out to them if they're watching this. And they, I was bleeding, and I was in so much pain. I was bleeding everywhere, and I was like, I cannot do this. I have to work these long shifts at the hospital. Like, and this like is for my school. Like, I cannot miss this. Like, I need to be able to stand. I need to be able to lift these heavy dogs. I need to be able to do, all these things, and I literally cannot because it hurts so bad. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a gynecologist appointment down here in Tallahassee, Florida. I found this like random doctor named Dr. Sundstrom. Shout out. And he's awesome. And just seeing like maybe he could like write me some. I don't even know what I was actually trying to do. Like, when I went to go see him, I was just in so much pain. I needed some relief. I was just bleeding everywhere. I needed some relief because I had so many things to do with his internship, and I like could not do it with how much I was bleeding. And so I go see him, and I was like, listen, I'm not from here. I go to school in Mississippi. I'm literally down here for an internship. I'm here for a month. I'm bleeding profusely. I'm in so much pain. I have an IUD and I need help. I'm dying. And he just like took one look at me, and he was like, you have endometriosis. I was like, what? And I had never heard of it before. Like, I mean, like maybe I had heard of it, like maybe on like TV or something. Like, theoretically, I had no idea what it was, right? I'd never heard of it, nothing. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, he explained it all to me. He was like, it sounds like you have pretty severe endometriosis. And I was like, no one has ever mentioned this to me. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, well, you probably needed surgery about 5 years ago. I was like, what? What? Literally what? Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I'm going to get you in for an ultrasound right now. I was like, okay. So I go and get an ultrasound, and I have a huge cyst on my ovary. And he was like, it could be an endometrioma, which is like a chocolate cyst. He was like, it's no way to tell unless we go in there. He was telling me, like, you can't diagnose endometriosis unless you surgically go in and diagnose it. Of course, there's clinical science. He was like, not only are you having painful periods and pain during sex, but you're also, like, having severe periods on an IUD. That should be, like, the number one telltale sign that you have endometriosis, because you should not be doing that. I was like, mind blown. Like, this one doctor that I was just randomly coming to see on my internship in Tallahassee, Florida, mind blown. So he was like, he needs surgery. And I was like, I literally do not live here. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I need to call my mom. I was like, I have to call my mom. I need to call my dad. Like, I need to explain to them, like, what the heck is going on? Like, this random doctor in Tallahassee just told me I needed surgery. Like, what? Like, what? This is, like, crazy. So I call my mom. I call my dad. I'm like, listen, this homeboy tells me I need surgery right now. And he tells me I have endometriosis. We don't know unless we go in there. It's like a risk. But I was like, Mom, like, I'm in so much pain. Like, I don't know what to do. And they're like, you know what? Like, you've been dealing with this for a long time. Like, let's just do it. So shoot. April 24th of 2018, he booked me down for surgery. My parents flew down from Georgia down to Tallahassee with Dr. Sundstrom. And he went in there. And the first thing I said when I got out of surgery was, do I have it? I was in there for probably about 2.5, 3 hours, and it was expected to be like a 45-minute surgery. And he said, yeah, you have stage 4. It was all the way up to my diaphragm and all the way down to my colon. It was everywhere. Everything was adhered to everything. My colon was adhered to my ovary. It was just everywhere. And like, it's a bittersweet moment when you get something like a diagnosis like that, because for all these years, at that point, I had been somewhat just kind of accepting, like, this was my life, right? Like, this was my life. Like, that I am supposed to walk around during my time of the month, which was pretty much constant, and be in horrific pain and sucking it up, okay? Because all of my MRIs and all of my CAT scans, and because before I would go, like in college, I would have this pain, and they thought I had like a herniated disc. They thought because I was having this horrible back pain and horrible hip pain, and I showed horses for like all my life, and so they were like, oh, it's probably something from riding horses. Like, you may have a herniated disc, like I said, a vascular necrosis in my right hip. So like I said, I went through like all these orthopedic doctors. They had no idea what was going on. I was constantly seeing my the doctor at my college, and they were giving me Toradol shots like all the time, like just to help with my pain, because I could not walk around, and no one had no idea what was going on, even though I was telling them all my symptoms. Like, no one mentioned endometriosis, no one. And so the fact that this one doctor, I'm gonna cry, the fact that this one doctor in Tallahassee, Florida, that I was just randomly going to see for my pain relief, was like, I'm gonna help you out as much as I can. Like, he was actually able to help me. And like I said, it's such a bittersweet moment being diagnosed with something like that, because like, at least now you have something to put a name to it. But then then the reality sets in that you're gonna live with this for the rest of your life. There's no cure for it. It's like the number one reason why women deal with infertility, and I want children. There's just a lot of baggage that comes with it, right? And it's scary, you know. I mean, like, like I said, like, it was hard to say, like, I'm happy I have the diagnosis, because like I said, it's nice to have a name to it, but I wouldn't wish the pain on anybody. So that was April of 2018. Okay. I graduated from college. I moved back home, back to Georgia. And, so again, this is now coming to around December 2019. So it'll be a year ago, because right now it's December 2020. So December 2019, my back and hip pain started coming back really, really bad. So bad. And I'm like, oh boy. And at this point, I have been on Oralissa, the highest dose that you can get of that. I've been on that, and still I still have an IUD, it didn't really like work in the sake of stopping my period. Whatever, to each their own, right? We just left it in there. So at this point I've been on Orlissa, and it did help. At this point I've been on for like 2 years now. It's hard to say if it's still helping. We'll get to that. But now it's December 2019. I am in so much pain again. I find a gynecologist here in at this point I'm living in Canton, Georgia. So like I said, a suburb of Georgia. And I find a doctor, Dr. Luttrell, and he does laparoscopic surgery. Now he does like laser ablation. He does not do excision, which I know like some people are like, oh, how dare you do like laser, or yeah, how dare you do like ablation. So there's a difference between ablation and excision. So ablation is literally just like burning off the top layer, and then excision is literally like cutting it out. He does not do the excision, the excising of it. So find him, and sure enough, I'm in surgery again, December 5th, 2019. They go in, and it is even worse than what it was when I was in there in April 2018. He was like, you waited way too long to go back into surgery. And that was only 18 months, just about. My left ovary is completely, pretty much demolished. The pictures are pretty crazy. Like I said, my left ovary, he put like a tarp over it to like kind of adhere it to like that side. It was just everywhere. And I was like, I waited too long. So, and I really do get relief after the surgery. I really do. And it's crazy. Like, it pretty much immediately, I mean, other than like the pain of the surgery, like pretty much immediately when I wake up, I can feel a difference of the work that Dr. Luttrell has done. But now here it is, December 2020, and I'm in pain again, and I have surgery scheduled for January 6th of 2021. Which is like 18 days from now. I'll do a whole video on my surgery, like the days leading up to it, and like pre-op stuff. I have to get like COVID tested. I need to obviously like the day like going into the hospital, whatnot, and obviously recovery, post-op, blah blah blah. And you know, making these videos, like I said, I'm not like a YouTuber or anything like that, but if I could just help one person out there, like that would mean so much to me, because like I said, I would just lay in bed, think like, why the hell is this happening to me? And there's no relief out there. Like there's no one there to like just to talk to, and like I just had no idea what was happening. And then I would Google, once I got diagnosed, I just like couldn't find a lot of videos on it. Now there's a little bit more, but I felt like I had something to contribute. I don't know. Maybe nobody wants to hear my story, but I still feel like I have something to contribute. Excuse me. Like I said, I hope I can help somebody out there. You're not alone. I'm here if you guys need me. We'll get through it together. You know, it's a chronic illness. It's never going to go away, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. We'll find a cure. Here's my kitty. We'll figure it out all together. Right? My cat's name is Chicken. And yeah, so I'll put all my stuff, like my Instagram and stuff, in the description. And I hope you guys have a happy holidays. Like I said, I'll post a video after my surgery, which is January 6th. Again, it's like December 18th, I think, right now. So I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, bye.